Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is WARDAH BINTI ZAWAWI. My metric number is 278936. Today we'll be discussing about mental health. You might ask, what is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act as we cope with life. It also determines how we handle stress, how we relate to others, and how we make choices. Mental health is important for our country development. World Health Organization called WHO defines health as a state of physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. WHO also defines mental health as a mental well-being in which individual realize his or her own abilities to cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to contribution to his or her own community. In this positive sense, mental health is the foundation for the individual well-being and the effective functioning of a community.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurin Afza binti IBRAHIM and my metric number is 279936. Okay, now I will continue about the discussion. What is the importance of our mental health? Why is mental health is important? It is because, first, physical health and mental health are closely associated, and it is proved beyond doubt that depression leads to heart and vascular diseases. Second, mental ill health also leads to social problems like unemployment, broken families, poverty, drug abuse, and related crime. Third, poor mental health play a significant role in diminished immune functioning. For medically ill patients with depression have worse outcome than those without. Lastly, chronic illness like diabetes, cancer, heart diseases increase the risk of depression. So that's why we need to take care of our mental health condition before it becomes worse.
And what is the consequence from taking no notice of our mental health? Let me tell you, untreated mental health will lead to more serious health problems. Here are some of the risks of ignoring our mental health. First, it will worsen our mental health problems. Mental health problems do not get better on their own. The longer an illness persists, the more difficult it can be treated or recover. Untreated anxiety may escalate to panic attacks, and failing to address trauma can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder. Early treatment usually leads to better outcomes. Second, it will lead to chronic pains. The mind copes with stress in different ways. Chronic mental illness will lead to aches, pains, and gastrointestinal distress that have no physical source. Over time, your aches and pains become detrimental to your physical health. You may develop serious physical injuries that even make it more difficult to recover from mental illness. Third, it will lead to chronic physical health issues that we just said just now. Living with mental illness isn't easy. If you neglect your mental health, it is easy to neglect your physical health. Chronic stress has been linked to a higher risk of strokes, heart attacks, and obesity. While mental illness might be in your brain, it affects your entire body. Fourth, incarceration. To be clear, mental illness does not lead to violent behavior. Mental illness makes it difficult to conform to society, which can lead to inappropriate behavior or misconduct actions. Almost 3/4 of female inmates and one half of men inmates have a serious mental illness. And fifth, suicide. Untreated mental illness clouds your judgment, making you believe that there is no way out. It is estimated that approximately 90% of suicides can be attributed to a
Next, how do we spot someone who is struggling with mental health issues? Here are some common signs that someone needs help dealing with a mental health problem. First, feeling anxious or worried. We all get worried or stressed from the time to time, but anxiety could be the sign of a mental health disorder if the worry is constant and interferes all the time. Other symptoms of anxiety may include heart palpitation, shortness of breath, headache, sweating, trembling, feeling dizzy, restlessness, or a racing mind. Second, feeling depressed or unhappy. Signs of depression include being sad or irritable for the last few weeks or more, lacking in motivation and energy, losing interest in a hobby or being teary all the time. Third, emotional outbursts. Everyone has different moods, but sudden and dramatic change in mood, such as extreme distress or anger, can be a symptom of a mental illness. 4. Sleep problems. Lasting changes to a person's sleep pattern could be a symptom of a mental health disorder. For example, insomnia could be a sign of anxiety or substance abuse. Sleeping too much or too little could indicate depression or a sleeping disorder. 5. Weight or appetite change. For some people, fluctuating weight or rapid weight loss could be one of the warning signs of a mental health disorder such as depression or an eating disorder.
People ask, how do we help someone to seek for mental health supports? Well, here are some tips for talking about mental health problems. Number 1. Set aside time with no distractions. It is important to provide an open and non-judgmental space with no distractions. Number 2, let them share as much or as little as they want to. Let them lead the discussion at their own pace. Don't put pressure on them. Let them talking, because talking can take a lot of trust and courage. Number 3, don't try to diagnose or second-guess their feelings. You probably aren't a medical expert, and while you may be happy to talk and offer support, you are not a trained counselor. Try not to make assumptions about what is wrong or jump too quickly into your own diagnosis and solutions. Number 4, talk about well-being. Talk about ways of distressing or practicing self-care and ask if they find anything helpful. Exercising, having a healthy diet, and getting a good night's of sleep can help protect mental health and sustain well-being.
So, in conclusion, mental health is very important at every stage of life, from childhood to adulthood. It's the time to concentrate appropriately on the issue to improve mental health as well as to reduce the personal, social, and global burden of mental illness.